Hey crafty friends, welcome back. For today, we are making this kind of fun fold pop-up card. Take time to unwind. It opens up, flips back, and then the inside of your card here pops up on that sentiment to kind of stand up. Super cute and fun. For this project, I am using some products from Pinkfresh's July release. This is the Peaceful Pause suite. I'll be using the stamp set, coordinating die, and stencil. As usual, I've got a couple extra cards using these products at the end that I'll be showing you. And in those, I do also use the dotted nested deckled rectangles. That is a mouthful. These are super cute. If you were as excited as I was about the Pinkfresh July release, then stay tuned because I'll be having some other videos coming up featuring the Woodland Trails collection, Block Party collection, and the Retro Camp Days. I'm super excited about this release. All right, if you want to see how I made this really fun and cute card, then keep on watching. Okay, first I'm going to stamp out this background image, and I'm using VersaFine ink. If y'all are not familiar with Pinkfresh, one of the things I love about their products is a lot of their stamps are all in one. So all the images are on there and they have one single die that cuts all of them out separately. I love that. It is genius. Not to mention, this month's collection included so many fun outdoor products. And so I picked up several. So again, you'll have more videos to come. But I absolutely love the theme for this kind of like campy outdoor nature. I'm just really here for it and absolutely love it. So Pinkfresh also usually has lots of coordinating products, and so for this one there are 6 stencils. For the greenery, I am using Pinkfresh inks, Grassy Knoll, and Olive. I'm just using those 2. I do have a third one in the frame, but I actually don't use it. And then I just use different pressures and different brushes to kind of add depth of color there. But of course, you could use whatever colors that you want, but just in case you're curious. And this red is candy apple. There's so many different things here. I'm just filling in that little basket. There's so many little different images and stuff that you can color in and do any kind of thing that you want. This includes like a little campfire. It also has a little table with a cup and a book, and then the little basket. So there's a couple little accents here that it's also going to cut out. And so I love that. I love that it's all like one stamp and one die. It just makes it super simple, and I love that they do that. All right, now we have the little hammock here. I'm using the Blue Jay color for that, and Sunshine is that bright yellow for all the little lanterns that are in the sky. I really think those are really a cute touch. And then for the little fire up here, I'm going back in with the Sunshine, but then I'm using a really small shader brush from Waffle Flower to use the Marigold just to kind of darken that up, just like you would with a fire. All right, now that we've got this all colored in, and this is an Altenew sticky mat. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. I'm going to die cut this out. I am not using any of the little extra pieces. It had some flowers and shoes. I'm actually not using those, but I am going to go ahead and die cut this panel out that has been colored in, as well as a blank panel. That way I can layer those up just to give it a little bit more stability, since this part of the card is going to be up and kind of on its own. I just wanted to add a little bit more stability to that to put it together. That way it'll hold up when we add it on to the card. So this is kind of a fun interactive little pop-up card here. That I just, as soon as I saw this set, this is immediately what I want to do with it, and I just think it has turned out really cute. And so for this, I am using a A2 card base, a top folding one for this, and then with that card base, I am going to take what would be the back panel of that, and I'm just going to put that here on my scoreboard. And for this one, I'm going to score 1.5 inches up from the bottom of that card base. okay, as you kind of see me here doing that now. It doesn't have to be 1.5 inches, but that was a good amount of space for the sentiment that I'm going to be using to fit, and you'll see that here in a little bit. So that doesn't have to be the exact spot. And one of the examples I show at the end, I only did 1 inch, but I just wanted to make sure it had a little bit room for that sentiment. And so once we have got that kind of scored, we're just going to kind of create that little hinge there and how that's going to be kind of folding back. And then we'll be, before we attach, I also want to do some ink blending here so that the inside of the card will kind of fit with that image. So I'm just using Summer Shower ink, and I am just doing a very light blue, that shade, all over the background. There is nothing fancy happening here. This is just basic ink blending. I just want to give a little bit of that color. I did go ahead and add what I'm going to say is my new favorite product, Spellbinders, Splatter Effects, and Sparkle. It just creates this gorgeous kind of twinkle. I love it, and you're going to be probably seeing it in a lot of future videos when I create with some of these other Pinkfresh products. I absolutely love it. So I'm just adding that to the background because that stamp that we have stenciled in and die cut is what is going to go here. So a lot of that background is not going to be seen, but I just kind of wanted to give it something to kind of fit with that look. All right, now that we have got the inside done, see how sparkly? I just love that stuff, y'all. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to do something similar to the front of the card base. So I'm just taping that off again with some mint tape, and I'm going to do some similar ink blending with the Summer Shower Blue. And this is a cloud stencil, and I'm sorry, y'all, this is a super old stencil from a Simon Says stamp kit from, gosh, I bet like 8 years ago. But I absolutely love it. It just has different kind of cloud effects. You could certainly do like something else here, but I just kind of wanted to have a kind of sky look because again, that kind of fits the look of what we have on the front of, or the inside of the card. And this is also where the sentiment is going to be attached. So that way it's not just a blank white space. I kind of wanted to add something there, and you can do this in a lot of different ways. And of course I got to have that sparkle splatter again because I just love this. It's clear, but it has sparkle, so it shows up really pretty even on dark cardstocks as well. I absolutely love it. So now we want to take our main image here, and we are going to glue that to that bottom flap that we have scored here at the bottom. And I am just going to attach this with some Barely Art liquid adhesive. You could do double-sided tape if you want, but I find it holds up perfectly well with liquid adhesive. And so we're going to attach that at the bottom. And then here we just want to make sure these creases, these folds are smooth. That way when you're opening it and moving it, it moves really well. And so kind of rolling your bone folder over that just to make sure those creases move really well. Now the front of the card is where we're going to add the sentiment, and this says take time to unwind, and this is an old Pinkfresh sentiment from some products from, I believe, one of their Create and Connect classes last year. So you want to make sure it's going to be there toward the bottom of the front of that card. All right, and then we'll get to the finished product. Okay, here is the final look at this really cute card. So we've got our little ink blended background and our sentiment. It opens up, and then since we created that crease on the back, it will stick there to our sentiment and kind of do a fun little pop up, and then it would be sitting on the desk, something like this. I really love this. I think it's super cute and fun. I've got two other cards to show you. The other one is kind of similar. So instead of having the sentiment on the front, I went ahead and just did the pop-up like so. And in the inside here, I did use one of those sentiments from the step, and I just cut it into a strip, and then I did several layers high. And so that way it will, if I can get it here, it will hold there. Now, the fold for all of this is the same, okay? So the one where the sentiment is in the front, you have it just like that. It opens up and does this. or you could make this the front of your card and open it up like that. I think either way is super fun. Just another kind of idea on how you could do that. Now, the only thing I'll mention is depending on the size of your sentiment down here, in the one in the video, I did make that crease here 1.5 inches high, roughly, and this one is only 1 inch. So just depend if you were gonna do a like big sentiment, then you're gonna want that fold a little bit higher to accommodate that. But this is 2 different looks that you can do for that. I really like how these turned out. And then if you just don't want to do any kind of special folds, you can just do a regular A2 size card. This one is really simple. For this one, I did use the little nesting dies that came in that release dotted nested dies. I did that here for the panel. I glued that directly on to the card base. I did use that also to kind of trim the bottom here of that image so it matches, and then I just popped this up on some foam tape and did a little sentiment at the top. I did add some glossy accents there to the lights, and you could do that for these as well. But that is another kind of simple way, but these folds are really like easy to do, and I think it really ends up really looking pretty cute. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Be on the lookout for some other videos coming soon using the rest of the products that I picked up from the Pinkfresh July release. If you enjoyed this, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.